Ciao Mark, innanzitutto grazie per aver accettato questa intervista, questa conversazione immaginaria. Non c'è bisogno di presentarti, tutti ti conoscono e direi che possiamo iniziare.
I am honored to be here with you today because, let's face it, you accomplished something I never could.
Beh, a dire il vero, sei tu che hai ispirato tantissimo, me compreso, proprio con l'idea di condividere contenuti. Quindi posso dire che in qualche modo anche l'idea di questa intervista immaginaria venga proprio da te. E sono sicuro che hai tanti contenuti da condividere con tutti i nostri ambassador.
Now, I'm an unlikely speaker today, but today I want to share what I've learned about our generation and the world we're all building together.
Fantastico, dai, allora iniziamo dall'inizio. Tutte le grandi storie hanno una scintilla iniziale. Penso che anche per te essere ammesso a studiare ad Harvard è stata in qualche modo una benedizione. Ti ricordi quando hai avuto la notizia, hai ricevuto la lettera che ti dava accesso all'università?
I was playing the video game Civilization, and I ran downstairs and got my dad, and for some reason, his first reaction was to video me opening the email. That could have been a really, really sad video. But I swear, getting into Harvard is the thing my parents are most proud of me for.
E ti ricordi anche la tua prima lezione ad Harvard?
Mine was Computer Science 121. I was running late for class, so I threw on a t-shirt, and I didn't realize until afterwards that I put it on inside out and backwards and my tag was sticking out the front. I couldn't figure out why no one in class would talk to me. Except for this one guy, KX Jin. He just went with it. We started doing our problem sets together, and now he runs a big part of Facebook. And that is why you should be nice to people.
Grazie Mark per condividere questo consiglio utilissimo che direi si può applicare ad ogni aspetto della nostra vita, non solo quella professionale. Siamo sempre tutti presi dai nostri problemi, da quello che succede qua dentro, che poi ci dimentichiamo l'importanza delle interazioni umane, delle connessioni con le persone che abbiamo intorno. Ed infatti penso che la vera capacità di un grande leader è proprio quella di connettersi con il cuore delle persone. E tu che conosci bene proprio la tua generazione, quale consiglio daresti? Com'è che si crea un vero leader?
Today, I want to talk about purpose. I'm here to tell you that finding your purpose isn't enough. The challenge for our generation is to create a world where everyone has a sense of purpose. One of my favorite stories is when JFK went to go visit the NASA Space Center, and he saw a janitor holding a broom, and he asked him what he was doing, and the janitor replied, "Mr. President, I'm helping put a man on the moon." Purpose is that feeling that you are a part of something bigger than yourself, that you are needed, and that you have something better ahead to work for. Purpose is what creates true happiness.
Questo aneddoto è bellissimo, mi fa venire in mente quanto sia anche importante in ambito salute e sicurezza avere una grande vision. E penso che questo accomuni comunque anche tutti gli ambassador d'Italia della Sicurezza, persone, professionisti che hanno uno scopo profondo. Non penso che si faccia parte di un movimento come quello di Italia della Sicurezza solo per interesse personale o per fare il compitino, ma quello che unisce tutti quanti è veramente uno scopo profondo, quello di rivoluzionare il modo di comunicare la sicurezza e contribuire a cancellare questo problema sociale nel quale ogni giorno, anche oggi, 3 persone perdono la vita sul posto di lavoro e 3 famiglie perdono le persone più importanti della loro vita. E la domanda che mi faccio è, se è così importante avere una visione, avere uno scopo, ma perché è così difficile anche per i giovani talenti, anche per i giovani che si avvicinano nel nostro ambito, condividere uno scopo più grande? Cosa ne pensi?
When our parents graduated, that sense of purpose reliably came from your job, your church, your community. But today, technology and automation are eliminating many jobs. Membership in a lot of communities has been declining, and a lot of people are feeling disconnected and depressed and are trying to fill a void in their lives. As I've traveled around, I've sat with children in juvenile detention and opioid addicts who've told me that maybe their lives would have turned out differently if they just had something to do, an after-school program or somewhere to go. I've met factory workers who know their old jobs aren't coming back and are just trying to find their path ahead. For our society to keep moving forward, we have a generational challenge to not only create new jobs, but create a renewed sense of purpose.
Capisco e sicuramente tu, Mark, sei un grande modello, una grande ispirazione a cercare sempre di progredire, di andare avanti, di innovare. C'è una frase molto bella che ho su questa cartolina che dice: ogni grande viaggio comincia sempre da un primo passo. E mi piace pensare che questo primo passo non puoi aspettarti che lo faccia qualcun altro, ma devi farlo te. E quindi quanto è importante essere convinti, determinati a poter cambiare le cose ed essere in qualche modo determinanti. Sei d'accordo, vero?
I remember that night I launched Facebook from that little dorm in Kirkland House. I went to Noakes with my friend KX, and I remember telling him clearly that I was excited to help connect the Harvard community, but one day someone would connect the whole world. The thing is, it never even occurred to me that that someone might be us. We were just college kids. We didn't know anything about that. There were all these great big technology companies with all these resources, and I just assumed one of them would do it. But this idea was so clear to us that all people want to connect. So we just kept working on it, day after day after day. And I know that a lot of you are going to have your own stories just like this. A change in the world that seems so clear that you are sure someone else is going to do it. But they're not. You will. But it's not enough to have that purpose yourself. You also have to create a sense of purpose for others. And I found that out the hard way. You see, my hope was never to build a company. I wanted to have an impact. And as all these people started joining us, I just assumed that that's what they wanted to do too. So I never took the time to explain what it was that I hoped we'd build. A couple years in, some big companies wanted to buy us. I didn't want to sell. I wanted to see if we could connect more people. Nearly everyone else wanted to sell. Without a sense of higher purpose, this was their startup dream come true, and it tore our company apart. After one particularly tense argument, one of my close advisors told me if I didn't agree to sell the company right now, I would regret that decision for the rest of my life. Relationships were so frayed that within a year or so, every single person on our management team was gone. That was my hardest time leading Facebook. I believed in what we were doing, but I felt alone. And worse, it was my fault. I wondered if I was just wrong, an imposter, a 22-year-old kid who had no idea how things actually worked. Now, years later, I understand that is how things work when there's no sense of higher purpose. So it's up to all of us to create it so we can all keep moving forward together.
E questa è la chiave, avere uno scopo più alto. Se penso anche in ambito salute e sicurezza, no? Se ci illudiamo che le regole e le procedure siano sufficienti per far sì che le persone lavorino in sicurezza, perdiamo un'occasione di coinvolgere invece a un livello molto più profondo, molto più intrinseco, le persone a un significato più ampio di sicurezza. E penso a quanto sia importante appunto coinvolgere le persone, toccarle nel profondo. Quali sono secondo te le condizioni necessarie per alzare il livello e veramente andare a uno scopo molto più alto, in tutti gli ambiti?
And today, I want to talk about 3 ways that we can create a world where everyone has a sense of purpose. By taking on big, meaningful projects together. By redefining equality so everyone has the freedom to pursue their purpose. And by building community all across the world. So first, let's take on big, meaningful projects. Our generation is going to have to deal with tens of millions of jobs replaced by automation like self-driving cars and trucks. But we have the potential to do so much more than that. Every generation has its defining works. More than 300,000 people worked to put that man on the moon, including that janitor. Millions of volunteers immunized children around the world against polio, and millions of more people built the Hoover Dam and other great projects. And now it's our generation's turn to do great things. Now I know, maybe you're thinking, I don't know how to build a dam. I don't know how to get 1 million people involved in anything. Well, let me tell you a secret. No one does when they begin. Ideas don't come out fully formed. They only become clear as you work on them. You just have to get started. If I had to know everything about connecting people before I got started, I never would have built Facebook. Movies and pop culture just get this all wrong. The idea of a single eureka moment is a dangerous lie. It makes us feel inadequate because we feel like we haven't had ours yet. And it prevents people with seeds of good ideas from ever getting started in the first place. It's really good to be idealistic, but be prepared to be misunderstood. Anyone working on a big vision is going to get called crazy, even if you end up right. Anyone taking on a complex problem is going to get blamed for not fully understanding it, even though it's impossible to know everything up front. Anyone taking initiative will always get criticized for moving too fast because there's always someone who wants to slow you down. In our society, we often don't take on big things because we're so afraid of making mistakes that we ignore all the things wrong today if we do nothing. The reality is, anything we do today is going to have some issues in the future. But that can't stop us from getting started.
Condivido assolutamente quello che dice, anche perché l'ho vissuto in prima persona. Anche io sono stato criticato, ad esempio, per aver voluto proporre un approccio più moderno alla sicurezza. E sono andato avanti fregandomi, anche e soprattutto guidato dalla frase, dal consiglio di una persona per la quale ho grande stima, che mi diceva di volare alto, l'importanza di volare alto. E questo è stato sicuramente quello su quale mi sono concentrato. E quindi, tornando allo scopo, quale deve essere il nostro focus?
It is time for our generation-defining great works. How about stopping climate change before we destroy the planet and getting millions of people involved, manufacturing and installing solar panels? How about curing all diseases and getting people involved by asking volunteers to share their health data, track their health data, and share their genomes? You know, today, our society spends more than 50 times as much treating people who are sick as we invest in finding cures so people don't get sick in the first place. It makes no sense. We can fix this. How about modernizing democracy so everyone can vote online? And how about personalizing education so everyone can learn? These achievements are all within our reach. Let's do them all in a way that gives everyone in our society a role. Let's do big things, not just to create progress, but to create purpose. So taking on big, meaningful projects together is the first thing we can do to create a world where everyone has a sense of purpose.
Sono i progetti straordinari darti uno scopo, assolutamente, e questo lo vedo quanto sia determinante anche in ambito salute e sicurezza. Il grande progetto che abbiamo è quello di sradicare questa condizione per la quale ogni giorno in Italia 3 persone, in Europa 10 perdono la vita sul posto di lavoro. E questo Questo è il nostro focus, come dicevamo, ma allora ti chiedo, Mark, qual è il secondo modo per creare uno scopo condiviso?
The second is redefining our idea of equality so everyone has the freedom to pursue their purpose. Now, many of our parents had stable jobs throughout their careers, but in our generation, we're all a little entrepreneurial, whether we're starting our own projects or finding our role in another one. And, you know, that's great, because our culture of entrepreneurship is how we create so much progress. An entrepreneurial culture thrives when it is easy to try lots of new ideas. Facebook wasn't the first thing I built. I also built chat systems and games, study tools and music players, and I'm not alone. J.K. Rowling got rejected 12 times before she finally wrote and published Harry Potter. Now, today, we have a level of wealth inequality that hurts everyone. When you don't have the freedom to take your idea and turn it into a historic enterprise, we all lose. And right now, today, our society is way over-indexed on rewarding people when they're successful, and we don't do nearly enough to make sure that everyone can take lots of different shots. Let's give everyone the freedom to pursue purpose, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because when more people can turn their dreams into something great, we are all better for it.
Sì, Mark, quello che dici è estremamente interessante e vorrei aggiungere un elemento. Spesso quando si lavora, ad esempio, anche in una grande organizzazione, perseguire lo scopo diventa difficile, quando si ha a che fare con la politica interna e quindi con quella paura di sbagliare che poi porta a impedire quindi l'innovazione. E penso che non sia però solo al mondo del lavoro che dobbiamo guardare, vero?
Purpose doesn't only come from work. The third way we can create a sense of purpose for everyone is by building community. And in our generation, when we say purpose for everyone, we mean everyone in the world. Every generation expands the circle of people we consider one of us. And in our generation, that now includes the whole world. We understand that the great arc of human history bends towards people coming together in ever greater numbers, from tribes to cities to nations, to achieve things that we could not on our own. We get that our greatest opportunities are now global. We can be the generation that ends poverty, that ends disease. And we get that our greatest challenges need global responses too. No country can fight climate change alone or prevent pandemics. Progress now requires coming together, not just as cities or nations, but also as a global community. But we live in an unstable time. There are people left behind by globalization across the whole world. And it's tough to care about people in other places when we don't first feel good about our lives here at home. There's pressure to turn inwards.
E per chi come me lavora in un contesto internazionale, questa esposizione a luoghi lontani è all'ordine del giorno e ci troviamo ad avere a che fare con paesi instabili, dove ci sono conflitti, guerre, dove anche il valore della vita spesso è molto più basso. E penso che sia un impegno importante di tutte le persone, professionisti che operano in questo ambito, quello di contribuire alla crescita, allo sviluppo di queste popolazioni. Ed è anche una grandissima opportunità a livello personale, quello di essere esposti a queste situazioni che sono una grande sfida sicuramente e come dicevo una grande opportunità di sviluppo personale.
This is the struggle of our time. The forces of freedom, openness, and global community against the forces of authoritarianism, isolationism, and nationalism. Forces for the flow of knowledge, trade, and immigration against those who would slow them down. This is not a battle of nations. It is a battle of ideas. There are people in every country for more global connection, and there are good people against it. And this isn't going to be decided at the UN either. It's going to happen at the local level when enough of us feel a sense of purpose and stability in our own lives that we can start to open up and care about everyone else too. And the best way to do that is to start building local communities right now. We all get a lot of meaning from our communities. Whether our communities are houses or sports teams, churches or a cappella groups, they give us that sense that we're a part of something bigger, that we're not alone. They give us the strength to expand our horizons.
Non potrei essere più d'accordo e il movimento di Italia Sicurezza ne rappresenta uno straordinario esempio. In 2 anni un gruppo di persone che attraverso i valori di fiducia, di collaborazione ha condiviso idee, ha condiviso esperienze e soprattutto ha contribuito a creare un nuovo modo di comunicare i temi di salute e sicurezza. E la cosa più bella di questa comunità è che diventa giorno dopo giorno sempre più numerosa.
And that's why it's so striking that over the past few decades, membership in all kinds of communities has declined by as much as 1/4. That's a lot of people who now need to find a sense of purpose somewhere else. But I know that we can rebuild these communities and start new ones because many of you already are. And this is my story too. A student in a dorm, connecting one community at a time and keeping at it until one day we can connect the whole world. Change starts local. Even global change starts small with people like us. In our generation, the struggle of whether we connect more, whether we achieve our greatest opportunities, comes down to this: your ability to build communities and create a world where every single person has a sense of purpose.
E questo è quello che anche noi nel nostro piccolo stiamo cercando di fare qui, ora. Quindi grazie Mark di questa condivisione. Prima di lasciarti andare però come possiamo concludere questo dialogo?
I'm reminded of a prayer, Misha Berach, that I say whenever I face a big challenge, that I sing to my daughter, thinking of her future when I tuck her in at night. And it goes, "May the source of strength, who's blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing." I hope you find the courage to make your life a blessing.
Grazie infinite Mark per aver preso parte a questa conversazione immaginaria naturalmente. Grazie anche a tutti voi che avete avuto abbastanza fantasia per godervela e soprattutto avete quella voglia, quella forza di volare alto, di prendere tutto quel valore condiviso da Mark in queste parole, di fatto pronunciate il 25 marzo 2017 ad Harvard in occasione della consegna della laurea ad honorem consegnata allo stesso Mark. Quindi da Davide Scotti è tutto, un saluto e a presto.